Hi friends, it's Julia. Thanks for stopping by my channel for Christmas in July, day 21. Holy smokes, this month has just been flying by. I'm showing you what I'm pulling out for the cards that I'm planning to make today. I pulled out those two embossed sheets of paper that I had previously embossed for a different kit for my generic stash, if you will. And I put some washi tape on the back of those because with my Fiskars trimmer, without the washi tape on the back, it kind of shreds the front. And I've learned that it's easier to cut from the back as well as opposed to cutting from the front. This is an ongoing process. I don't use embossed paper a lot. And so part of it isn't the fault of the paper that I've used. Part of it is the fault of just not knowing and not having played that much with the embossing folders that I have or embossing different types of paper. And so here I keep getting like a jagged edge, and so I just cut a little bit off and I'm going to work with what I have. And so that wood grain embossing paper, it like tore that paper completely up. And I don't know, I've seen a few blog posts from different people that say you should spray your paper with water, especially if you have an intricate embossing folder like that one. I don't know. I haven't tried it, but I'm willing to try it. If you guys have any input on that whole situation, please feel free to let me know, because I don't know. So anywho, I'm going through here and I'm inking the edges of that paper, and it's not like you can see it all that well because the metallic grain of the paper does not really allow for the ink to settle on top of the paper. It kind of is a little smeary. Is that a word? When it's sitting on top of the paper, it will smear right off. And so when I ink the edges, I'm doing it because it's still, even with using the tape and when running it through that Fiskars trimmer, it still gives a very prominent cut edge. And so I just bought a guillotine trimmer. And part of the reason I bought the guillotine trimmer was because of issues like this and some other things that I wanted to use it for. I just haven't gotten used to it yet, and so I'm not familiar. I've used the Fiskars type trimmers for as long as I've been scrapbooking, and that's been 20 years or more. So anyway, back to the card making process. I pulled out some pattern paper from the little mini kit that I'm using, and I'm on mini kit number 3. And so I've pulled those out and I cut them down, and of course I'm mounting onto black cardstock, and I'm going to ink the edges of that, and that's the quick quotes. I don't think it's called black, but it's black in essence. Chalking ink. And so I love that stuff. It's my favorite ink to go on the edges because it's not overly harsh. It's not too bold or too bright when it lands on the paper or dries on the paper. I also have there that border strip that was from my generic kit that I added into this little mini kit, and it's got a border edge on it. And a lot of times if I'm out at a crop and people have border punches that are different from what I have, I ask to borrow, and I think that's one of the ones. It has like a little snowflake border. And I was with some friends scrapbooking at one point, and I had a lot of Christmas stuff, and I asked to borrow that border punch, and I punched out tons with that. And I've used most of them up, but I still have a few little bits and pieces of them. Do you guys do that when you are at a crop with someone or out and about and they have a different tool than you? Do you borrow it? If they have a punch or a border punch or something like that, I absolutely ask to borrow it. Or if they have their dies, and I have my quick cuts or my quick cut, Okay. Oh gosh, that's old school, isn't it? If I have my Sizzix there, then I will absolutely ask to borrow their dies as well, and cut up whatever paper that I have with them. I think that's fun. It's a great use of everyone's tools because really and truly, you use a tool once, you're not really getting your money's worth. But if you use it, 100 times, you are absolutely getting your money's worth. And if I can, allow my friends to use my tools to get my money's worth, I'm okay with it. And I think most of the people that I scrapbook with are the same way. Here, I'm just layering up paper, creating my card background. And I'll tell you, most of these cards that I've created throughout this series, I have found inspiration from either Pinterest or Page Maps, the card maps, or from most of them, though, have come from Christy Marcotte over at her blog. And I don't know that she may have a specific name for her blog, but I don't know. Her face or her YouTube channel is Christy Marcotte. And so if you follow the link that she always puts with her videos, it will take you back over to her blog. And she has all the card sketches that she uses with the measurements already on there. Here you can see up at the top, I took all of the, I think those are old Martha Stewart labels. They came on a roll, and I cut them apart and have been putting them in different kits trying to use them up. Believe me, I still have a ton. I still have a roll of them. But I'm slowly getting some of them used up. And with this mini kit, I went ahead and all the ones that I had left over from previous mini kits, as well as just in my generic stash, I pulled them all out and I stamped on them. And those are a couple of stickers that I had for my sticker sheet there. One was a label sticker, and I just stamped Merry Christmas on it. And then the other one already had Christmas greetings on it. So I just backed them with some black cardstock, and I'm using those. And I'm going to get to using those labels here in a while. You'll see, not with these two cards, but as I go along, you'll see them used more and more. Those are the little, in the mini kit, in this paper pack that I used for these cards, there was a snow globe page in the 6x6. I pulled that out and I fussy cut around all the snow globes. So I'm just going around, I'm edging with the black ink, and then I'm going to pop those up on some foam dots and put one on each card. I thought they were really cute, and I didn't use them as much as I thought I was going to, but they went into my stash, or I kept them out and I kept them laying there for the duration of making the cards with this mini kit, and eventually they'll go into my generic stash, whatever's left over. Same with all the product that I don't use. I don't think there was anything, now that I'm doing the editing process and I'm looking back over what I have left, I don't think I got rid of anything other than paper scraps that went to the recycle bin. But as far as product embellishments, ephemera, the bigger scrap papers, a lot of it, I spent a lot of time cutting down, spending some time using the different die cuts that I have that can be generic to create more generic stash. So next time I pull out my Christmas goodies, I will have more stuff to play with. And I'm going to add a couple of brads onto here. Those silver starburst or asterisk brad, whatever you want to call them, I've had those forever, and I just keep plugging along. I've had them in my Christmas stash, and I only have about half of what I have in my regular brad stash in my Christmas stash. But I keep plugging along using them, and eventually I'm hoping someday to get them used up. Do you have a stash of something that you have used for years and years and years and you still have tons of it? Brads are my thing. There I have already stamped the envelopes. I have already stamped the card bases, and you can see along with the sentiment, I stamped some snowflakes on the inside of the cards as well as on the outside of the envelopes as well. Stamped the snowflakes. And here I'm just adding a little glue so that I can put them down on the card bases. Guys, I hope that I have inspired you to pull out your stash and get to using some of it. I know a lot of you may have some of this same product in your stash that you've maybe been holding on to years, and I hope this really inspires you to get it out and to use some of it up so that, you know, you feel like you've got your money's worth from your product. At least that's my thought process in doing these videos. I want to inspire you to get into your stash and utilize what you have. And here, you know, I don't have a lot of scraps with this paper collection already, and so I'm just putting some washi tape down on the inside of the card to dress it up just a little. Nothing fancy, no rocket science here. You guys hear me say that a lot, but in reality, it's the truth. I want cards that are cute, but I don't want to spend, you know, a heckin' ton of time making them intricate, just because I know that most of them will end up in the trash. Anyway, thanks for sticking around today, guys, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.